Sharani, we have Christina, yes. So, my friends, we have to live our life. That is what we have been talking about, living our life in that peace, happiness, and wisdom. But the life is not the same every day. Physical challenges, mental, emotional challenges are always there. I have a pain. Say, for example, I have a headache. What should I do? But the last time we discussed that what I'm supposed to do, I must do it. Let me check. Let me check my state, and let me see if I can continue what I'm supposed to do. I should do it. Do I have that enough willpower and the endurance to do it? Let me do it. Let me do it. So, what happened now? In this case, what is happening? I am subtracting my headache for the sake of my duty. I told you 2 plus 2 is 4, and 2 multiplied by 2 is also 4. And 8 divided by 2 is also 4. So sometime we need to subtract, sometime we need to add, sometime based on the situation, in our daily life. Daily life, changes. Some people will say yes, some people will say no. That is the normal way of living in the world. But my inner peace is not disturbed. That needs to be understood clearly. That is why I named this series Happiness and Wisdom. If the one does not want to agree or disagrees, it's okay, it's a part of the life. But it means I have to delete something. I have to subtract something from my mind so that the mind does not become crazy. That is the meaning. The mind is the worst master, and I have to take over the mind by the intellect in my daily life. Even you're talking to your kids, and the kids have their own opinion and expression. Leave them on their own. It is their life. How can you leave it there, my son? No, that is your identification. That is your attachment. It may seem to work, but obviously it is not going to work. That is what I gave an example. So, what is this meaning? What is this meaning? Simple meaning. Last time I talked about it, a person goes from Gilbert to Phoenix to buy happiness, and from another person from Phoenix to Gilbert to buy happiness. It is understood clearly. Now, what happens when the mind is the worst master? Then I say, oh, I have gone to Phoenix to buy happiness. It is not available, so let us go to Paradise Valley, another township. Let us go to Mesa. And we continue to make the journey like this, and we get frustrated. We get frustrated. I believe, you are getting it. You are getting into a simple, very simple mathematics. So that is the way my intellect, I apply my intellect with reference to the real self, that, at any cost, I will maintain my peace and happiness. So what happens? You are applying like this, you're applying in different situations, and at last you start recognizing that you have transcended the mind and you are able to maintain the happiness in your daily life. And once that is possible, that is an awakening. I'm making a very clear picture. Otherwise, we start talking what is awakening and what is. Uh, that is one way to say. There is another way to say that mind has a, uh, what do you say, mature mind. There is a mental maturity. So now you see from that point of view what is mental maturity, doing what is right. You just stick to it, what is right. Finished. Avoid the wrong. So when you work in with that, there is a choiceless awareness. All the 8 steps teaches this. So we don't appreciate all the 8 steps. So that is why we are trying to understand that it is possible to continue to think, speak, and act in happiness and wisdom. It is 100% possible. You make it possible in your life by knowledge, by understanding. So prepare. You have the wisdom as a foundation. Now see the other way, so that this is going to be the last session of the first 8 steps. So how to grow that mature mind? If that comes to your mind, identify the obligations. What are the obligations that you have? Clearly understand what you must do. Discipline, practice self-acceptance. These are the modern approaches. But ultimately, it talks of the same. Reflect and align and evolve. Growth of a mature mind. But this is now you see that if you find that they are very typical words I cannot practice, follow the 8 steps. Everything will come. Strictly follow the 8 steps. You wake up, for example, you wake up in the morning. Yesterday, I was giving an example with a personal. Now they said, "Oh, you have a problem." Jerry was there. Yeah. So just take it as casual. So you follow these 8 steps. If I say religiously, you understand, try to understand the 8 steps again and again. You repeat it, you contemplate and reflect just for 10-15 minutes, and then see how you can apply. I can bet you that the life will be much better than the past. Or I said, identify your obligation, discipline, practice self-acceptance. So these are more a philosophical word. 8 steps are very practical. Do this, don't do this. That is why the masters have evolved. You see that, another way to that, you overcome likes and dislikes. And more if you want to follow it more at the intellectual level, then understand sometime 2 plus 2, you have to do 2 plus 2 is 4. Sometime there are 8. What is 8? Different situation, problems. So you start dividing it so that you reach to 4. Dividing means that you leave it. You leave it without creating any impact in your mind. And it happens with our near and dear ones. You are able to maintain that calm and that peace. Okay. This is also subtracted. She is not listening. He is not. Okay, subtracted. Change the topic. Same thing with the mind. If you get too much obsessed with the body, I have to get rid of this obsession. So we need multiplication, we need addition, we need subtraction. So gradually, again, I'm saying if you understand all the 8 steps clearly, you will also get this understanding of this mathematics, and the mind will definitely change from what now it is not going to be the worst master. Now you see how I have evolved this topic. I told you on perhaps on the 23rd that why don't we start our Happy New Year from that day? So we discussed about the daily anxieties, delusion, foolishness. I picked up this topic from that perspective. And then I answered that why we have those anxieties. Can I get rid of it? And then I started directly on what exactly is the happiness and the wisdom. Now you see, we have anxieties, dualities, conflict in our mind. And now I simply said happiness and wisdom must complement each other. Why? In times of anxiety, duality, conflict, we stop thinking, I have an anxiety, okay, let me take the pill. No, use the intellect first. Knowledge, we don't use it. Did you understand that? That is my purpose. I'm just telling you that is another way to live in this world. Sometime we say we are frustrated, we failed, and then on those moments you will recognize that you are not applying the wisdom. You're not applying the knowledge. Happiness and wisdom. I told you it has to go together. And then we started understanding how 8 steps are applied to secure happiness and wisdom in our life. We are preparing a very strong foundation. And then I covered that how to think, speak, and act out of the 8 steps to maintain the happiness and wisdom. In the last session, we sees that how this mathematically. So you see that in the entire process, I took your mind from becoming the worst master to a faithful servant. That needs to be clearly understood. But if you don't apply, it will not happen. It will remain as a philosophical thing. It has to be practically applied. I have to check again and again how happiness and the wisdom are connected, interconnected, interrelated. And if you don't see that, the mind will take over the intellect. How dare you say that? I don't agree with you. You are totally wrong. These expressions will come. So a person treating the path of an awakening and realization has to follow this approach. How do you understand? Take one example. A person who is seeking happiness only through the material possessions may experience the short lived pleasure followed by the disappointment and emptiness. What is this nature of the mind? The mind wants to be the master. But if you don't apply the wisdom, if you don't apply the knowledge there and then, money essential, yes, it is a need-based survival. We need it. We have to have it. not by hook and crook. So think of that. Not by hook and crook. We must have it. That is one side of the story. The other is that mind says this is the only way to be happy. So my intellect is not there. Knowledge is not there. The wisdom is not there. Only you are responsible for my problem. Now don't take it personally. This is an example. Huh? Only you are responsible. You see, the movement of the mind is constantly, it will constantly agitate you. And you are learning not to get agitated. The life will change. I can bet you the life will change. That is the meaning that I'm understanding these 8 steps. So happiness and wisdom should go together. Don't see that, happiness is just like an emotional content and the knowledge is a very, no, dry content. No, we have to bring them together. In the wisdom, I can enjoy that happiness. In the happiness, I should be aware of the wisdom. Something prompted my mind instantly that I'm making fun of you, but I'm becoming happy. It devoids the wisdom. Ultimately, it will hurt. You see that? Happiness and wisdom. Wisdom grounds my happiness in the joy. But why we are doing? We are preparing a very strong foundation so that we are a seeker and then we will live life as a seeker the whole life. And if you do that, in spite of lot of challenges in the world, you will continue to have that state of peace and happiness in your life. Well, problems will come and they will go. Modern approach, we say that practice gratitude, practice mindfulness, there should be an act of kindness. Yes, but they remain more at the philosophical level. But if you apply these 8 steps, they become very pragmatic and practical. We talk, practice gratitude. Oh, let us practice gratitude. Now, you don't have that mood and the emotional temperament. How can you do it? But if you are doing it regularly, it will happen. Another part that is very important is to engage in self-reflection. Self-reflection. And that is what I said: listening and learning, contemplation and reflection, practice and experience. Just few weeks, and ultimately all the 8 steps becomes hardly 2 or 3 steps, and you will be able to change your behavior, your attitude and responses. How it will help you? You will experience consciously that how the happiness is fleeting when it is not supported by the wisdom. You will have a practical, live experience. You're eating the food, you get a pleasure, the food of your choice, and you are maintaining your awareness, and you will realize that every time you take the bite into, it touches the tongue, it gives you the taste, and just after that it is swallowed, the pleasure is gone. That is why we say, that is what we say mindfulness eating. Mindfulness eating is not that, yes, I'm mindful and I'm eating, and the pleasure continues. Do you understand? We use the word, But we have to go deeper into this. Mindfulness eating, mindfulness walking. The previous step has become the past. Let me march forward. So it helps us to train our mind not to become the worst master. It should remain as a faithful servant. Did you understand that? Normally, we talk of philosophically, mindfulness eating and mindfulness walking and mindfulness talking. I will not leave you. I'm making a statement, I will not leave you. So it is my mindfulness speaking. Now, I'm just doing the opposite. So these 8 steps will definitely help you to reach to that level. That is what I wanted to impress upon your mind. I have just extracted what exactly contains in these 8 steps. Daily study of Eastern wisdom. I said 5 minutes. In the beginning, you may have to listen to these talks, but 5 minutes, I am of the nature of the real self. I was of the nature of the real self yesterday, yes. Tomorrow, yes. Today, yes. Next moment, yes. But I have a problem, I have a pain, and I have an emotional upset. Oh, that belongs to the false I. Your first step is over. That is the meaning you are watering a garden with nourishing wisdom. I'm telling you, if these steps are, normally people think that these steps are just, oh, I have understood and it will work. No, it will not work. So when you are repeating it daily, even for a few minutes, depending on your level of awareness, you have understood. So you wake up in the morning, yes, allow the mind to say it mentally. I'm of the nature of the real self. Oh, but I have a lot of problem. That problem belongs to the false I. You instantly, your mind says. Why? You remove the ignorance and build a strong foundation for a personal growth. Consistent study of teachings, self-observation throughout the day, and this is also the studying the Eastern wisdom. Look at it at the second, what we said, performing your duties diligently, acting out a role in a play with excellence and dedication. You play your role. What is my role now? I should not waste even a single second of yours. Moment you are there, let me start playing my role. Do you know it will save you from lot of fears and anxieties? Otherwise, we are burdened with lot of anxieties and suffering. What I have to say before to my daughter, to my son, and to my friend. No, you are moving ahead. Well, that is your duty. Your mind is always clear. In a profession, in the professionals, in a business. There's a more to talk about it, but I'm just want to conclude these 8 steps. So once you share your experiences or share your challenges, I will help you link and associate with these 8 principles. You identify and fulfill your responsibility with a sense of the service. Finished. I'm done. But then I have to take care that have I done anything to help you reach to the state of happiness? Answer is no, you have done yourself. I have just passed on this knowledge to you. So what is my worth? My worth, third principle, I'm talking of third principle. My worth belongs to the worth of the existence. I'm associated with that existence. That existence has given me this body, mind, intellect, and ability to speak. So, what you're doing, I'm getting rid of the false I. You're doing the same thing outside, but internally, you're getting rid of the false I. Are you getting it? The third principle. Third principle is that dedicate all your actions to the existence, because uh, I moved my hand. But if I don't have a power, how can I move my hand? Lips are not working, tongue is not working, larynx is not working. How can I speak? I maintain that awareness. But why Master is talking about it? To get rid of this false I until we realize and find the real self. Once you find the real self, then it will happen on its own. It is because we are not doing it, the mind becomes the works master and it starts accumulating this sin. So, from the first three steps, you have started removing the sins, means unfavorable conditions. Sometimes we burden so much of our mind that I have committed a sin because I have read somewhere, because my uh, religious preacher has created a kind of a fear in me. Don't go there. But it does not mean that I should commit. I should start committing uh, violence. That too is also there. You see the first three steps and the fourth step, uprooting the sins, unfavorable condition in your life. It is going to happen. It is going to happen. It is purifying the mind like a lake. It's going to happen. No, I was in anxiety and I reacted to that guy when? Oh, last year. You are still remembering? That is sin. Did you say sorry? Yes, I said it. But he does not understand. Let him not understand. Mentally, you have done it? No, yes, I've done it. Third step, I said, false eye. Otherwise, the false eye says that I'm still suffering because you did not accept my forgiveness. So that has again to do with the false eye. So then we go to recognize the defects in the worldly pleasure. We will take up one or two sessions that what exactly is the worldly pleasure, what exactly is the worldly pain, how we experience that duo, pain and the pleasure, profit and the loss, victory and the defeat, everywhere in our relationship, in our personal life, in our professional life, in our social life. It's very easy to become a monk, So now you're not married, you are bachelor, you don't own anything. It's very easy to follow that process. But to follow that state, that process in worldly life, where I'm living personal life, professional life, social life, family life, is a challenge. And if I follow and accept this challenge, my future journey will definitely be clear. Do you see that? So the six is we will understand that recognizing the worldly pleasure. On one side, my mind hooked to the worldly pleasure. On the other side, I am seeing what is right and wrong. So I have to understand the entire. I have to apply the wisdom. So wisdom in the moments of seeking the worldly pleasure. Should I not seek it? Seek it, but apply it with the wisdom. And then what happens? The mind will never forget, at least it will never forget that I'm of the nature of the real self. You wake up in the morning, you're doing all your activities, what happened? The first three principles are naturally applied. Now your mind is studying the Eastern wisdom to study. When? Now it is studying the Eastern wisdom in daily life. Many texts discuss about these steps as something very great. I'm making it a normal. Why, they make it, oh, this is a wonderful and a great step. You have an awakening, you see the blue light and you see the red light. I'm not going there. Very clarity. The way this master has been explaining, I'm explaining based on that. And then what happens? You have an intense desire for self realization. I'm using the same word, an awakening. And ultimately, you continue to live in the world, but the entire world do not live in you, does not live in you. And if that happens, once you have a feel, an experience, and you have an awareness, you will see how beautiful the life is. To make the life beautiful, I need $1 billion. No, you don't need that. You don't need that. Then what is going to happen? Your thought, your speech, and your action aligns with the wisdom and aligns with the real self, or you can say aligns with the happiness and the wisdom. So you recognize what duty I have to do, let me do it. I remember you dedicate your activities to the existence, and ultimately the life changes. It begins the transformation. So only one topic is like how the worldly desire, worldly pleasure, defects in the worldly pleasures. I will pick up one or two more sessions so that that aspect will become very clear. And even if you have understood it intellectually, I know it will haunt your mind. The way I gave you an example of this young guy who was in a restaurant, came out of the restaurant, and he started cursing his mind that why I had those thoughts. They are simply the thoughts and feeling and emotions inside my mind because the mind has become the worst master. Do you remember that young guy? And Jerry knows who is this, but mm, I need not to tell you the name of that. But he has changed completely in the last session. This is what, I've changed completely and my mind is totally calm and relaxed. And that is, yes, we'll talk about defects in the worldly pleasures. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed and place, position, and place, position, and posture. You see why I say sometime that is what we are doing in all these 8 steps. Instantly, your mind follows you, the posture, position, and the place. Being comfortable. Pick up any wisdom that we have understood and see whether you are comfortable or not. And you will discover, yes, I'm comfortable. The body stops moving. Is it not a sign of the progress? Yes, it is a great sign of the progress. So we are looking at all the smaller details of even the meditation. And now being carefree. Are you clear about being carefree? A little bit of separation from all the thoughts and the feelings and the emotions coming from the past, projecting into the future. You just see them, they are separate from you, my friends, and they are separate from me. Itself, it is being carefree. Separate means, oh, neighbor is separate from me. I need not to worry about it. And then being carefree, in that state of being carefree, in that state of being carefree, what we understand. The next step that I think last time we did it is that flow of the breath. Just for a for a moment, you look at, you see that, without any obstruction, you are shifting your awareness. Oh, is meditation is shifting your awareness? Yes, from the changing to unchanging. And then I said, look at the flow of the breath, maintain that awareness, and the neighbor number one is the world outside. Uh, world outside. Physical body. You cannot step into the same water. You cannot step into the same body again and again. Body has already undergone a change. Third, just more with every time you practice the meditation, you have varieties of understanding, different ways of understanding these six neighbors. Pick up any one. And the third is the energy. Energy, oh, that is also. So I started energy with the hunger and the thirst. And I also said it is a manifestation of the consciousness. So you pick up any one. Fourth neighbor is the mind. Mind, if the mind is not there, I cannot perceive the sin and virtue, good and bad, pain and the pleasure. Mind divides, but we don't understand why it divides, why it says this is sin and this is virtue, why it says this is pain and this is pleasure. It gives a answer, but not a clear answer. And then comes the intellect with the I thought and the strong likes and dislikes. That is our fifth neighbor. Do I know my real self? Answer is no. Why I don't know it? Because the false I is there. And that is our sixth neighbor, which we say ignorance. And we don't wait. Sarvesham Swastir. You can use any mantra. It is not that you have to use only. Mantra means the thought. Thought means the wisdom. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. So, what is happening gradually as we shift our awareness within, the mind will recognize that peace everywhere. May there be peace for all. Do you see one thought? Now it calls for an objective reality, but what will happen? The mind will turn. Oh, peace is everywhere. Oh, that peace is me. Sarvesham, Sarvesham, Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam. May there be completeness, wholeness in all. May there be completeness and wholeness in all. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. Why we are doing it? There are many reasons, but one of the major reasons is to bring a clarity to the mind which is filled with the doubt, delusion, anxiety. And now, looking deep inside the forehead, I'll be changing the practice gradually, slowly, one step by step. So, looking deep inside the forehead in the space, do you see the space? Yes, I see the space. You start dropping Om Shanti there, and then start breathing long, deep in the hissing breath into your rib cage. Long, deep in the hissing breath into your rib cage. Om Shanti continues, the stillness in the body continues. We see that, all the steps are experienced. You're comfortable, you're carefree, you have a clarity about these six neighbors, and these six neighbors are working actively. It's not you or the false eye. And then you are breathing, the lungs, and Om Shanti. When we have that sense of a detachment with all of these organs, that is the most important thing to recognize and realize, rather than I have a deeper experience in the brain of freshness. Yes, freshness is good. But why I said so? Because we are shifting our awareness from outside to inside. Okay. Continue. Long, deep in the hissing breath into the rib cage in the state of the stillness with Om Shanti. In the state of experience, being carefree, comfortable, means endurance, means joy of doing. I'm just reminding you, you already know it. You continue to inhale and exhale a total expansion and contraction of the entire rib cage, and Om Shanti continues in the state of the stillness in the body. You experience the expansion and contraction of the entire rib cage. During inhalation and exhalation, only the rib cage is moving, the rest of the body remains steady because we have already done the practice of being comfortable and carefree. The mind does not get identified with any body and body parts, so it maintains that steadiness. And stop it. Look at the flow of the breath. Instantly, you're aware of the flow of the breath. Yeah, yes, you check it. The flow of the breath is equal, wonderful. Not equal, that too is good. You're just aware and experienced. But yes, if they are equal, make it sure that what we talk about the third eye, at that moment, it is there. And now, in that state, you start inhaling and exhaling deep, silent, slow. Totally deep, silent, and slow breath. But as you inhale, move the mind from the top center of the head to the tailbone, singing mentally Shanti, and Shanti drops at the tailbone while breathing out Shanti. Om Shanti begins from the tailbone, reaches to the top center of the head. Continue. We'll understand that how each steps takes care of various challenges posed by the mind. So that will come in the following sessions. Then what happens? Now you have the wisdom. You have a particular challenge and you know what needs to be done. At present, yes, we have an idea, but we don't have a detailed and a clear idea about. So continue with the nyas, deep, silent, and slow breathing. Om Shanti. Your mind moves in the spine, but your mind is saying Om Shanti. And leave this step, drop Om Shanti on the 16 segments of the fingers. Just check it and be into that wisdom. You're not doing any active step. And the mind is dropping that Om Shanti without pushing the mind outside. So all the sense organs are living in the mind. I believe you have understood that point. That is the withdrawal of the mind from outside. It is also known as the pratyahara. We'll deal with it. So I told you that you can drop Om Shanti the way your mind or mental state is. Om Shanti, that is Om Shanti, that is also good. Depending on the state of the mind you have. Dropping Om Shanti, and you discover there is a flow. There is already a kind of an absorption is there. Yeah, we can say step by step we are going deeper. And so now you're very clear, deeper means the higher awareness, rise in awareness or consciousness. And now leave this step looking inside the heart, visualize the triangle of any color to keep your attention inside. That's why you say keep and moving the mind with Om Shanti on each side of a triangle. I complete the instruction here so you have a total freedom. And then you sync it. Once you find the sync, push the mind with a long Om. The mind, when you feel the mind seems to stop, you drop Shanti and stop doing anything. So we are going into self absorption by stopping doing anything. will understand that. Yes, if the mind is distracted, you return again to the triangle. No issue. So you think it and again go inside. Can we stay in this state of self absorption for a longer period? Why for a longer period? We understand how much the mind has yet to be purified, or her state. Mm. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your Buddha palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms, know your experiences, bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences now. How are you, Dennis?
Thank you. Seamless practice. The body felt very solid after the uh, 16 segment step. And then there was darkness, deep, deep darkness, like nothingness, no thoughts, nothing. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yes. Yeah, one point you said is the freezing of the body and a total stillness of the body. Yes, it happens. And when there is a total stillness in the physical body, we feel as if we transcended the body at a deeper level. So that's a wonderful, beautiful. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you very much. I just want to thank you for the process you're taking us through with the step-by-step, like focusing on this number one step of or chapter of happiness and wisdom, because it's and every time is sort of a different angle of it to look at, which only enhances our lives, our day-to-day lives. And I am seeing the impact in my day-to-day life because of it. So thank you. And I look forward to the next chapters and on and on. Meditation was extremely deep. To Dennis's point, dark in a good way, just blank and peaceful. Thank you.
Yeah. When we see, David, when we see the life has been changing, our attitude and our behavior has been changing, we are responding totally in a different way, maintaining that state of the calmness. Yes, definitely we are progressing. Thank you. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, thank you. It was good. The meditation was nice and easy. Each step got me to a different level of separation and peace. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yes. You see that when we rise in awareness, now just say that there is a rise in awareness. What happens to my house? No, house remains the same. What happens to my honey? Honey remains the same. But rise in awareness opens up another level of my perception. Now I perceive at a subtler level, you can say, at a deeper level, you can say, or you can say that I perceive the world with less movement of the ignorance, greater movement of the wisdom. I believe I'm making myself trying to be very clear logically. So, it is something like that. You have 100-watt bulb, you have 200-watt bulb, you have 500-watt bulb. It's a metaphor. So you have a greater clarity about your life. And the greater clarity dissolves your ignorance. That is what happens in this journey. So how are you, Samir?
Sir, now the mind wants to go inside. Means mind means
Yeah.
something inside attracts the mind to go inside.
Yes. It simply means that now the mind is realizing the duality and a conflict outside at the level of the six neighbors. So it wants to go inside, it wants to remain absorbed within. That is a good state. Beautiful. How are you, Christina?
Thank you. Today's meditation I felt was very, very deep and vast. I wasn't even here almost, is what it felt like.
Good. Very good. Very good. How are you, Terry?
Well, yeah, good. Mhm.
We have forgotten the symptoms of Terry. Do you see, Terry? Almost for the last how many months? Many months.
Well,
It
thank
takes
you.
patience. Thank to you that you are committed. That is beautiful. Beautiful. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. The practice was calm, and today's understanding is that the mind is clear, and like when it using that wisdom, then for the same problem, it can use multiple solutions based on that particular day, what I am having, what are the resources, and it can pick up that solution for that day. It's not like fixing on one solution that I have to use this solution for the same problem again and again. And this mind is clear. So that was the understanding today.
Yeah.
And one more thing which I got it from today is like that the conflicts that are having is with the inside world, and with that conflicts I am fighting with the outside world. If I get that resolved with that inside world, then there will be no fighting with the outside world, and mind remains calm.
Have you all heard of it? There is no conflict where you have to see. So I recognize the inner conflict, inner perception. When you change that perception, the outer conflict is also not there. It's a worth contemplating and reflecting. I will talk in detail about this aspect clearly. There is a door here and there is a wall. Who perceives will have a conflict. The door is not perceiving the wall is not perceiving the door. They don't have a conflict. My perception has a conflict. But my perception has a conflict because of the ignorance. Well, we simply say it because of the ignorance. I see you are different from me because of the ignorance. That needs to be dropped. So then we'll all start living together in the same house. No, that is not the case. That is overstretching. So we will talk about it. How are you, Sangeeta?
सर कई बार ना सिचुएशन आउट ऑफ कंट्रोल होती है, तो वहां पर मुझे सरेंडर बहुत काम करता है.
That is what I was telling you. She says that sometimes the situation is out of control in relationship. So in those moments, surrender is the best. And that is what I explained you metaphorically. Subtraction is the best. Subtraction is the best. There is a 6 minus 2 is again you get to the 4. You stop it. You remain silent. You don't do it. Yes, it is possible. Because of if my goal is to remain in peace, I can achieve that. I can achieve that. Yes, it is possible. And that is all for today. We'll meet again. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste. Namaste.